Three blind men were asked to describe what an elephant feels like. One touched the tail of it and said it felt like a snake. One touched the side of it and said it felt like a rough wall. One touched the legs of it and said it felt like a tree trunk. Who was right? Who was wrong? Who's to say? Welcome to a crazy showcase, and I would like you to like, share, and tag somebody as we discuss the elephant in the room. My name is Jordan Nasaka, and I'll be your host for this fun, crazy, head-scratching poetry showcase as we pit poet against poet, and they attempt to convince you, our lovely audience, what their opinion is of the elephant in the room. So, here's how it works. We're going to have two teams of poets that are going to come here and deliver a fire performance as they attempt to convince you, the audience, of their opinion of whatever the motion is. And we don't get to decide who the winners are. You do. Today's motion. Proper English is a measure of intelligence. Broken English versus proper English. Let's meet our team leaders for today, Kasungo and RealTok, as they attempt to give us their side of this particular motion.
Hi guys, my name is Kasungo Matenga. I'm a spoken word poet and a student at UNZA. Today I'm leading the proposing team, which is the winning team. We have a really interesting theme that we're going to be debating poetic style, and I'm excited for what you guys are going to hear from us today. All I have to say is that opposing to this motion is like a blind man saying I'll lead the way, or like a lame man saying let's run.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Jolesia, also known as RealTok. I'm a university student as well as a spoken word artist. Buckle up, prepare yourself for the storm that my team is bringing.
Wow, so those were our team leaders. Yeah. Let's see if the rest of the poets have enough to measure up to what the team leaders had to say. So first up is Chisomo.
Time and space is needed when a life is being given, but less time is needed when a life is being lost or taken. So listen closely as I pen these words. I heard of a man who was bought and taken and far away driven from his home. His mother tongue was stuck to his tongue as foreign tongue twisters took their time to twist their way into his tongue. He could calculate the difference between time and space. He could calculate the speed of a race in a fraction of a second, faster than calculators, because his brain was a noise that echoed in the ears of a white man. But remember, he only spoke his mother tongue. He was born in the worst of the wild western world of Africa. His home was under the scorching sun. He used the spear to fight against a gun, but his brain was the masterpiece on his master's chessboard. Bored by his language, yet still intrigued by the skills his brain holds. Bold in his actions, yet he still obeyed his masters and did as he was taught. He spoke in a language of numbers, a language so hot that even English now claims to be way cooler. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Thomas Fuller. He was shipped to America at the age of 14 as a slave. He was the perfect example of intelligence any man ever gave. He had the ability to calculate. The slave masters would double check, they would prove that his calculations were accurate. Now approximate the hate he received because he was black, yet he still could calculate. Two white men approached him. They said, "How many seconds are there in a year?" Within a fraction of 2 seconds, before the second man could have a second thought, he produced an answer. The second man said he was wrong. But he said, "Wait, you forget the leap year." Yes, he said you forget the leap year. So broken English corrected wrong math, yes it did. And record has it that he knew how to calculate from Africa. He didn't know planets like Pluto and Jupiter. He didn't know how to read or write, but his calculations were always right. So in the same way broken crayons can color, is the same way broken English can still be used to measure intelligence.
Well, that dude took us to Africa, back to slave days. Oh man, mathematics, broken English, broken crayons, steel color. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I hope the proposing team has something that's going to be able to counter that. Whatever you're doing, like, comment, let us know what you think, because this is getting interesting. Put your hands on the screen and like for JD Preacher.
The only way to eat meat of an elephant is by taking one bite at a time and sharing it with wise minds that have the capacity and technique to dig deep while the meal is done. Now, Can I speak? JD, speak. Out of the shadows of wisdom, an elegant damsel was bestowed upon this earth. Her beauty could only be attained through mastery of syllables. Meeting her as a poet meant that you get to add color to your culture in our mother tongue. Write down stories of Lindiwe and the Maniac as the strokes of her beauty begin to dance on the pages of your story in black and white. As everyone scrutinizes every parable, fragmented graphics written and hidden in dictionaries. See, they say this: he who finds a woman finds a good thing. So trust me when I say, she has made interviewees look like kings dressed in suits made out of proficient linguistic lenience. With pronouns pronounced correctly, she has introduced each and every man in the presence of Einstein-like mind people. See, she does not only add your name on the walls of fame, she makes you fame itself. She is admired by many and inspires many nations, as she makes names of self-centered gadgets like iPhone sound cool. Some argue that she is no weighing scale of one's exnos. But see, when one meticulously articulates every word accurately, he or she begins to woo everyone in the room, like when Logic uses the logic of broken English to crack jokes into people because he knows booming is actually a recipe of cracking ribs. This beautiful damsel has made people like Obama sound so profound. She has made people like Gary Congo release sensible combos and like Balusambo. If she is a weighing scale of one's whip-smart nature, then my fellow poets would have written their poems in their own mother tongues, assuming they know how to speak one. If Bera was never an error, we wouldn't consider the L in her name broken for us to fix the platform of beautiful interactions. See, even RealTok knows she is a real talk, for if his name was RealTok, then his brand would probably be a real talk. Preacher.
Yo, JD Preacher came in with the heat. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys are still tagging people because like you need to see this fun show with us. Elephant in the Room is going crazy. We're about to have the team leaders now, RealTok and Kasungo. Yo, I'm excited for this. RealTok was the 2021 Louding Slam champion and Kasungo was the 2021 Louding Slam champion finalist. It's about to get crazy again on Elephant in the Room. Put your hands together wherever you are, tap that button for RealTok. I'm excited. They're gonna be going back to back, so you won't see me for a while. You might.
Children of Israel, this is Real Talk. In a world filled with so many complexities, it's funny how one word could cause a catastrophe. How one word could change an entire mindset and change how a person thinks about a matter. It's funny how one word could make you change your perception. July 19th, 1988. Jonathan was born into a family that was lavish. Never knew the meaning of thrift, even though he was passed on a spoon from a left, which was the first hand, to the second hand. He grew with a perception that was kingly, a mindset that was to die for, a mindset that was royalty. He began to excel in his education, went through high school, and even excelled so much that he was granted the honor of giving the valedictorian speech. Voice so impeccable, words so soothing, he was able to captivate each person that heard him speak. And so with this ability, he went on to pursue the career of being a teacher. He attained his master's degree from the University of Zambia, coming out at the top, glaring wherever he would go, wherever he would apply for work. He was at the top, unmatched, unfazed, unshaken, incomparable. He was at the top. July 19th, 1997. Philip was born in a small village in Lusaka. I know what you're thinking. Probably no villages in Lusaka. But this ain't your story, it's my story. In a small village in Lusaka, he rose and grew from the grassroots. His mindset and perception was that of humility, raised in a humble home, taught to love, taught to care, taught to hold on to all that he was granted, taught to be grateful. But there was one flaw in his upbringing. He couldn't speak proper English. And so even in primary school, the only words that he knew very well were, "Teacher," they leave the room. "Teacher," "Aunt God said." "Teacher," "Nalemba homework." And that was it. You see, this young man was of great intellect, yet his speech was lacking. It was as flawed as our perception as we implement and enforce leaders that are corrupt. This man was intelligent. July 2nd, 2008. Jonathan would then collide with Philip. And on this fateful day, Philip would meet this very intelligent teacher. And so Jonathan walked into the class and he greeted the classroom. Now this will break your hearts. See, what happens next shows us how one word could cause a catastrophe. How one word could rip the very fabric of reality. How one word could open doors to the multiverse. How one word could break your perception. So the class is seated, waiting for the teacher to speak, and to their amusement and their shock, having expressed and introduced himself, mentioned all his accolades, he says, "Today, we are actually going to begin our classes." That one word caused the class to burst into laughter. Burst into laughter, not only because it was humorous, but because it made their perception sink deep into the earth. One word caused their mindset to be reset, to show them that intelligence cannot be gauged by the manner in which we speak, by the language that we speak. You see, architects are said to think in numbers. Lawyers are said to think according to the law. Doctors are said to think medically. But why should you judge me for thinking in my own language?
In every story, there is a hamartia, a fatal flaw. Shattered A's and collapsed B's, C's in half and D's with cracks, E's crumbling and F's crashing down. It's the story of broken English. You see, I had to be careful with these ABCs, lest I tear them apart piece by piece. You know, they're quite delicate, these EFGs. So my tongue becomes a smooth slip and slide because I don't want to be called dumb. In a society that's the best paradigm of hypocrisy, I open my mouth and apparently people know my IQ. Judgment and ridicule smeared right across its forehead if I said broken English. Let's not sit here and act like your first thought would be, ooh, she's smart. Let's face facts. This language, packed in a white man's luggage, sailed the seas, crossed the oceans, and braved the waves until it halted at the harbor of my tongue. This foreign man's language arrests my tongue and keeps it in bondage as though my ancestors weren't kept in bondage long enough. That is a poem for another day. Tell me we aren't zombies prancing and dancing to the sound of English that went to private school. Or y'all want to be fake? It's cool. Shattered A's and collapsed B's, C's in half and D's with cracks, E's crumbling and F's crashing down. It's the story of broken English. And in every story there is a hamartia, a fatal flaw.
Right? Yeah, I know. Me too. Yeah, that was really good. Yo, oh my goodness, that was such an amazing show. That was an amazing performance from both teams. So, again, you the ones that have to decide. We don't decide. Who do you think was right? Is proper English a measure of intelligence? Get in the comments. Let us know what you think. From all of us here at Elephant in the Room, I've been Jordan Lasaka. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. Make sure you like this page. Make sure you follow us so you can be notified when we come back. Adios.